Greetings and welcome to our next session, next reflection. As I have already said, today I would like to talk about a road, a journey, a way, a process of learning, seeking the truth, exploring something new in life. A road is an essential part of our awakening in faith, our growth and in development. A road which is a constant, every day of learning, exploring. It's not a 1 day or 2 days or 1 week journey from a point A to point B. No. Unfortunately, many people they have only one sort of an experience of faith, and they say it's enough. I know what is faith about, but as a matter of fact, they don't. They don't. So that journey, this road, I call it it's a constant process of dying to old patterns of thinking, practices, and habits, and rising to the new patterns, new perspective. And that is the beauty. You remember that passage from the Gospel? It says, unless a seed dies, it cannot produce. Unless you die to your old patterns of thinking, you cannot produce anything more, anything beautiful. The road. What are the characteristics of the road? There are two elements. The one is the beginning. How you lay down the foundation of the road. It is very important. And the second element is enduring to the very end. Enduring to the very end in your journey of exploring, learning, and seeking the new experience. Let's also look at the beginning, the foundation of beginning the road. There are two scenarios. One scenario is you begin your new journey within a new context. You give up at the very beginning, you give up your old patterns of thinking, habits, and practices, and you move. You proceed in your journey. Or the second pattern, you try to develop your life to awaken in faith within the context of the old patterns of thinking and habits. You're leaving everything, the first scenario. You're leaving your old patterns of thinking, your frame of mind. It doesn't mean that now you are walking in the chaos. It doesn't mean that now you are walking in the darkness. There is no sort of a guiding point for you to walk in that journey. No. Because chaos, darkness, they produce chaos and they produce darkness. And it's worse. At the end of the day, it is worse. It's dangerous. So remember that passage from Gospel of Mark, chapter 1, verse 15. Jesus says, turn away from your sins. Turn away, meaning leave it. And he adds, and believe in the gospel. Believing in the gospel is precisely that new context, that leading force for you to explore, to learn, to develop, and to progress in your life. Reading the gospel, practicing the gospel, and believing in the gospel. I remember when I was still studying psychology, anytime we are given any research, we are not allowed to produce or to proceed in that research according to our own sort of imagination and point of view. No. Always we had to apply a certain theory as a guiding point, as a framework for the research. And that was the sort of a security for achieving proper results. So when you give up everything of your old patterns of thinking and you believe in the gospel, you're still in the same everyday context of life. The family, friends, beloved ones, your work, your school, daily activities. But we are not afraid. The funny thing is that many people, that quite often we are afraid. We are full of anxieties. We are so much concerned about what other people will say about us. And that is not the way forward. So in this new context, this new journey, you give up. There's no fear. Can you imagine that? No fear, no anxiety, no concern whatever what they would say about me. There's only believing in the gospel, and the gospel is love. Is love, is the truth. So that is the way you progress. You awaken in your faith. You grow. But just imagine the second scenario. You want to grow, to develop in your life, faith and so on, within the old patterns of thinking, old context of life. Meaning you are still full of fear, anxiety, that concern what the other people would say about you. And you want to progress. No way. There will be no way to progress and develop. You'll be always afraid of them, afraid of yourself. So you will apply new practices. Somebody will tell you positive thinking. Quite often we hear that. Positive thinking. Look positively. Feel positively. With a thought goes emotions. But that's only a practice. Positive thinking with this essential change of your heart and mind doesn't make any sense, any progress. Or somebody will tell you, just do some sports, go to relax. Or introduce new ways of relaxing during the day in your life. Good practices, but they do not lead you to that growth and development. Let us look at the second element of the road, enduring to the very end. Jesus Christ says in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13, those who endure to the very end will be saved. They will have salvation. Enduring to the very end on your journey of exploring, learning, is a very essential part of succeeding, of developing. If there is no endurance on your journey, what happens? It is a very, very funny story. You walk, you leave the old patterns, you walk from a point A, you come to the point B. Then you get nervous. You get confused. You are not sure what is going on. So you run back. And again, from point A to point B, and again run back, goes and backs. And that's such a vicious circle. Finally, you get tired and you give up. So endurance, enduring on your journey is the essence. And of course, that enduring, you can do that only when you listen and you believe in the gospel. When you listen to your only logic, no, you cannot endure. You know, you cannot. You'll go back immediately. You remember those Samaritans. They were inspired by a Samaritan woman. And they left the town. And they went to look for Jesus, to encounter Jesus Christ and personally listen to him. And what happened? They left and now they're walking in the desert. Walking one day, second day, third day, and nothing. Nothing is going on. Nothing is happening. Where is Jesus? They're asking, where is he? Where can we find him? And they are used to the pattern that they set up goals, they set up the mechanism or the way how they achieve those goals, and they set up the time when they will achieve those goals. And that was their own pattern of thinking, practicing. That was their own old style of life. And now the goal is there to encounter Jesus, but they cannot succeed. Where is he? And they're at the point of giving up, running back to the old patterns of life. And fortunately to them, that Samaritan woman is with them, walking with them. And she says, stop it. Stop, look backwards. You remember that passage from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 62. Jesus says, chapter 9, verse 62. Jesus says, whoever keeps on looking backwards is not worthy of my kingdom. So she says, stop, focus, trust in the context of believing the gospel. Trust and go. And she points out just there. Look, he's there. He's there. I would like to invite you for our next session. And I will share with you one of my experience of faith, which is very much about enduring to the very end. It was a pilgrimage, bicycle pilgrimage, 1,500 kilometers on my own in Botswana, Africa. It was a prayer for the people living with HIV/AIDS. Thank you very much and welcome you to the next session and have a very good and pleasant day.